Hey everyone, so welcome to another empowering episode of Unmute the podcast. And I want to first say thanks to each of the person who have given the feedback earlier and shared the beautiful insight from the conversation we had in the previous podcast. So today we have another empowering conversation on a very specific topic. Now let me ask you this question. How many of you here who are listening to me right now think that I'm a business owner? That you say that I'm a founder of XYZ organization or brand, something like this, and you literally believe that you are a owner of your business. Now I'm gonna ask you this question, okay? Listen to me very carefully. If you go on a holiday for a week, think about that you are on a holiday for a week, will your business still be going and will you be making the money? So think about this question. And if the answer is no, that means there is a gap between what you do as a business owner and what you do as an individual person. So today's topic is all about understanding what is the gap, and that's why even if you take a holiday for one day, I'm talking about one day, is still it might be possible that your business is not running. So today we are going to have a conversation on this particular topic with the name of the identity gap, where I have seen a lot of women business owners, specifically I'm talking about women here, who are doing everything alone, thinking that I'm growing a business, I'm doing something for building a venture, but actually they are trapped in a self-employed activities. And that's why we need to understand what's the difference between being a self-employed and being a business owner. So, with that note, let me start today's episode. And for those of you who are new to this podcast, I would like to introduce myself. So, my name is Neha Garg. Uh, I give myself a different names. All right. So as you know that I always call up that like I'm a life coach or something like this. But today I'm gonna say that I'm a digital coach working with women entrepreneurs who wanna grow their business online. So I help or support them to actually show up confidently so that they can show build a system for their business which will bring them inquiries in the conversation. So this is about me, but today's episode is more about the conversation. So let me introduce our guest for today's session as well. His name is Abhay Tiwari, and he works with founders and basically with those people. His focus actually on transforming a founder dependent business into calm and process driven companies which will help people to build for long term growth. So specifically it is about how you actually build a business in a way where you see the long term proven sustainable growth in your business. So today with the conversation we are going to have in on this topic, you're going to get a lot of insight. So make sure you make notes, okay? All right, everyone. So I have a final question with each one of you. If you are here, type live if you're watching us live, and type replay if you're watching us replay. And with that, let's invite our guest for today. Abhay, if you're here, you can just switch on your camera and let's welcome you on Unmute Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here, Neha. I'm grateful to be here and hoping to add massive value to the community that you're building of women entrepreneurs. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. So I've shared a little bit of introduction about you. Would you like to share a little more about yourself, like what you do exactly as your work and whom you help?
Absolutely. So what you shared was absolutely right. I work with founders or business owners who are stuck in operations or client delivery, and I help them get out of that whole system through a system called as 5M Founder Freedom Framework, which is what I've created after working with business owners for the last 7 years. That is what I do now because you also have a community of entrepreneurs who are self starters who are doing everything themselves. I think it is going to be a very enriching conversation, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this. And Yes, so we're gonna start our conversation with the very first question, which is an eye opener for the people who are listening us right now. So, I work with many business owners like coaches, solopreneurs, and women who are in like network marketing sector. That means they are selling other companies' products, and most of the time when they introduce themselves, I see that they're calling themselves a founder, but actually they're busy full days, like 24 hours भी कम हो गया I would say, but they're busy full day in doing the work alone, and even for spending in the tools, hiring one people, it's actually a thought for them, like should I actually do that? So I would like to know about this what how you define the difference between being a self-employed and actually a business owner.
So let me before doing that, let me help you understand what is the definition of a business, right?
Yes.
Business specifically means you providing a product or service to a customer who is willing to pay you for it,
Yes.
right? Now, who it depends on you is mostly you in the start, but over the time, you build a business where you build team systems and strategies to be able to run it. That's the simplest definition that I can give to you. Now, when you say that there are a lot of women who are working with you and they are mostly engaged every single day in the whole work, what happens is the self-employment trap is this, right? Where you feel you are running a business, where you are doing activities in the business, but that activity doesn't go beyond you, or
Mhm.
that activity has no other person to do it. Then it's self-employment. What business is? The whole definition of business also says that business can grow itself. Business can grow with people. That's the other thing that happens a lot in business. So the simplest definition is what can stay limited with yourself is self-employment, and what can grow without you later is business.
Nice. Thank you for sharing this. And I hope those of you who are watching this having notes right now, because these are the important information will help you to understand the gaps between, the way work you are doing right now and the way you want to do the work. Now, I would like to understand that what is the biggest challenge which many business owners face when they want to actually delegate some work and they really want to build the system. So there is a desire. Yes, I want to delegate this work. I want to have my system and I want to work full fledged like a business owner. But what are their struggles?
So I think what the 5M framework that I talked about, the number one M in that is actually mindset. And I'm sure you know this seven neurological levels that we learned in the coaching program. But for those of you who are new to this conversation, here's what I want you to understand. There are multiple factors that are required for a person to change. And let's assume that the activity here is that how do business owners really delegate their tasks? Right, there are multiple things that go into it. The number one thing that goes into it is what's your identity as a founder. So let's say, for example, if you see yourself only as a person who is a problem solver, who is an operator, who is a caretaker of the business, you will never be able to delegate it. Think about your mother. What do you think your mother plays as a role? She plays the role of taking care of children, right?
Yes, the
Do
caretaker
you think she is able to delegate work a lot to the children, or do you think she does everything her own self?
oneself.
Right, and that's where the difference actually needs to be. The number one thing that needs to change in any founder is to turn themselves into a business owner. And I don't mean just in words, I mean by meaning, I mean by identity. Every founder who wants to build a business needs to change its identity from being an operator or a problem solver to a business owner. And what does a business owner do? He builds the business to run without him. That's what his core intention is. With or without him, his business should function. Now, what does he do? So once somebody really clears their mind, right, what happens is then they think of the other things. So there is this seven neurological levels where you say the first level is actually environment. So once you evaluate where you are, what kind of people you're engaging with, is it helping you really be a founder who can delegate or not? Then you evaluate, okay, are my behaviors showing that I am a business owner or not. Then you evaluate, are my capabilities showing that I am a business owner or not? Then you evaluate, are your beliefs showing that you are a business owner or not? Then you evaluate, what are your values showing? Are you a business owner or not? Then you evaluate if your identity is showing if you're a business owner or not. And above that is the goal. Do you have the goal as a business owner, or are you just thinking of earning some lakhs? Because if you're thinking of earning some lakhs, then you don't have to be a business owner. You will just do it all by yourself. You will be like, "Arey, why do I get employed somebody?"
Ye-
But building a business has a different goal. So, like I said, from down to top, when you really want to change yourself as a business owner or a founder, you go from top to down. What do? You say, hey, you know what? I want to build a business where I make 1 crore in revenue. I'm able to spend time with my family, and I am able to prove my worth to my own self. Let's say that's the goal you have. So what happens? You change your identity as a business owner who can achieve that. Then you change your beliefs, then you change your values, then you change your capabilities, then you change your behaviors, and finally you end up changing your environment because your goals define how you really behave. So for any founder who is listening to this, I want you to look back to what is the goal that you're trying to achieve. And once you do that, then think, is your identity matching to it or not? If your identity doesn't match, your actions will not match. So, yeah, that's the answer to your question, Neha.
Very powerful, like amazing insights. And I personally, it's like, I can see that there is a gap in all these 7 levels. One thing
Absolutely.
which I personally is like, think about the goal too much. That what is
Yeah,
the goal? And many people, if I ask that what is your goal or what do you want, there is no clarity about this. So
absolutely.
so if a person like who is building a business want to set up a goal, how do that person, like, what is the right way of setting a goal for herself or himself, according to you?
See, absolutely. See, to be honest, there's no right way, but what is the most important thing is what's important to you as a person when you're setting the goals. So let's say, for example, if I have money in life, my goals could actually be to spend more time with my family, and that's why I want to build a business, maybe because I don't want to work every day. Let's say somebody who has money and time but doesn't has health, so
Hmm.
he will end up being like, okay, my business should function in a way that I am not required and I can focus on my health and recovery. So,
Hmm.
what's important in goal setting is what is really important to you as a person. कि यार मेरी चाहते क्या है? And there are 7 areas of life, and I recommend this. I learned this from my mentor. So he says there are 7 areas of life, and you need to have goals in each area of your life. Can you achieve all the goals? May or may not be, but you need to have goals so that you keep looking forward to them. Now, what are those? Health, wealth, relationship, business or career, contribution, recreation, spirituality. These are the 7 areas of life if you really divide it. And all these 7 areas are important, whether you accept it or not. Some or the other way, you will try to catch up with it. So, what I would recommend is you go through the 7 areas and evaluate what is important to you, what goals would I like to achieve, and out of these 7 areas, are there any 2 3 areas that are most important to me for this year, and would I like to achieve this? And once you do that, you will be able to plan your action.
True. And having the goals is actually one of the having a goal clarity, I would say, is one of the very powerful start for someone who want to
Absolutely.
really grow the business. So I can actually
Absolutely.
see now a clarity.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, right? Most people don't even set goals, and they think, they say, I know it in my head. No, even if you know it in your head, it won't work because
Mm.
your brain has 60,000 thoughts every single day. And
Yes.
out of that, one thought is your goal. You better write it, better you keep reminding yourself. It's like this: if you know that you want to go to Delhi,
Yes.
doesn't matter where you're standing, you will figure out a way. But if you just know and you have not fixated about it, if you have not written it, if you're not sure about where you want to go, doesn't matter how many things available in front of you, you won't go that path. So what's important is to first be clear about what you want to achieve, stay and stick to it. and
Hmm.
then try to achieve it. So yeah, absolutely, clarity matters a lot, Neha.
Thank you for sharing this. I would also love to know what are the common mistakes you have seen in founders, which you can recommend to others that these are the mistakes you might be doing apart from the seven changes which you said that they need to work on. The simple mistakes, and that is
There
actually holding their
are
growth.
absolutely. So I'll tell you, the number one mistake that people have is of mindset. I think people have a very stringent mindset to look at things. While they want to make money, they don't want to spend money,
Hmm.
and that becomes a very big problem because it's like this universe works on exchange. How much you give is how much you get. But if you don't wish to invest, if you don't wish to learn, if you don't wish to grow, doesn't matter what efforts you put, you won't be able to receive it. And you will have to pay in some or the other way. You pay by money or time or efforts. You choose what is the cheapest to you at this moment. So investing in growth, if you don't do it, that's the worst thing that you can do. The second thing is thinking from a very small mindset. Even this, my one of my mentors says, you can't be cheap on your journey to greatness, right? So give with an open heart. Invest in people also, because you can't build a business if you don't really have the understanding of people. Now, can you have a tech business? Absolutely yes. But if you don't have that at the moment, please think of people. We'll come to that automation and ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन लेटर, बट शुरुआत तो आपको लोगों से ही करनी पड़ेगी, where you are able to delegate some of your task, offload your task, for a simple fact that if you get out of your day-to-day things, you will think of growth. Currently you are mixing up everything. एक सेकंड आप ये सोच रहे हो कि यार मेरे को 1 करोड़ अचीव करना है, दूसरे सेकंड आप किसी का कॉल अटेंड कर रहे हो कि यार 500 रुपए का रिफंड आ गया है.
Hmm.
Right. Now, both of this have a very different identities to match, very different actions to take. So, what I would recommend is you really look at that. Then think of building it like a business. What I mean is be very clear about who are the target audience, what is the problem that you're solving, what is the price point you're solving it at, and how will you solve more problems for the same audience. You need to have a very clear clarity. Logic बहुत जरूरी है. Most people think just because I'm passionate, I'll be able to build a business. May not be. So you need to really think on some logic, some क्या बोलते हैं उसको, थोड़े बेसिक्स तो क्लियर करने पड़ेंगे बिजनेस के,
Yeah,
where you
follow the
understand कि
structure
भाई am
foundations.
I absolutely, you need to build the foundation of the business. Doesn't matter what your thought process is, if you don't build that, you will not be able to, you'll be able to make money for some time, but then you will fizzle out. Then you will have to think of how will the business run without you. So that's when you will actually start documenting processes, systems, because everything is in your head at the moment. So what happens is one day you are absent, your business is closed.
Hmm.
You can't build a business like that, right? So
True.
you need to really learn to document processes, keep them as a vault. Otherwise, everything is in air. Your business is in air, your goals are in air, your customers are in air, and your processes are in air. You need to document it so that you can delegate it to people. Then hire people, fire people, help them grow. That's what you need to do. And if you're not doing these activities, these are the biggest mistakes that you can do.
True. Like
Right?
I have seen people don't have the data of the customer they are, serving to since so many years. And now
Absolutely.
they realize that this is the mistake because I cannot even get a recurring, buyer from past because I don't have the data. So this line
Absolutely.
which you said is very, very powerful. And this is something which I want each one of you to know, those who just joined, that, having this kind of a documentaries, like, having the documentation of the work a person is doing is very, very important. And here a question arises, and it's like many of the women business owner with whom I'm working, the common thing which I have been see, they prioritize their family first. And there's no problem with prioritizing the family. But with the name of the family, sometimes whatever they can do and there's a potential in doing something, they stop themselves. So what are the simple system? Because every person is a family, person. Some people have liberty of spending more time into business. Some people don't have. So small, simple system which you can recommend to start, just as a start. One thing though, I am 100% sure a person has to work with somebody who can give the clarity behind the goals, the gaps and everything. But what you can recommend as a starting systems for them?
Okay, so to be honest, I may not be the best person to judge it. I have a lot of respect for women because the family responsibilities most times are said and unsaid both, right? And that's a very different scenario to look at. But on the other side, when your goals are big, and if you are sitting here thinking that, Abhay, you know what, Neha has been pushing us, we want to achieve goals. Let's say, for example, that's what the conversation is. Then I will recommend you some systems. Number one, what you need to have is your time tracker. Because most business owners or founders never pay attention to their time, but your time is your biggest asset. The thoughts that you think will turn into actions, which means what you think the wrong things, you do the wrong things in your business. So number one thing is you need to have a very clear time tracker. Second, you need to have a scheduler. You need to manage your schedule very well. If you are saying that I will know what my work is today, then here's the here's the worst thing, my friend. You can just get into emergencies and feel as if business is running. No, that is unplanned business, unplanned activity. It's not business. Your business has to have some scheduled activities and some unscheduled activities. Let's say, for example, you are not able to spend time because of some emergency, some family time. What you should learn is rescheduling things. हम लोगों को आदत क्या है, हम चीजों को छोड़ देते हैं. Now this may not be like some out of the understanding tools, but just know that it's simple things that matter in business.
Hmm.
हम ना बहुत ज्यादा complicate कर देते हैं. What I want each one of you moms, women here is, if you're really focused on achieving your goals, look back and see, what do I really need to give it. And at times you might have to create some boundaries. What I mean by boundaries is asking for your own share of time so that you can give it to the business. You'll have to have that, क्योंकि क्या होता है, जब आप identity shift करोगे ना तो problem होगा. Let's say for example you're being as a business owner and suddenly you think as a family person. What will happen is you will have to compromise something,
Hmm. They
right?
can
So
show up
you're
online. Sometimes what to
absolutely.
happen.
Absolutely, right? So you will have to really take a step back and look, hey, can I really say no to this because it came last minute? Do I have the power and authority? And should I do it? Because most times in India and most women don't know how to say no, right? So I think the number one tool that I can recommend is no, or we will do it later. Because not everything is an emergency. And the other thing is, keep a check on your dreams. This is another tool that I would recommend to anybody. Keep a check on your dreams because dreams give you energy. It gives you the willingness to work hard. It gives you the willingness to do better. So if you don't really check that, then you will get into that rut. एक साइकिल चालू हो जाता है, वो साइकिल ब्रेक नहीं कर पाते आप. तो what is very very important is to talk about dreams, dream dreams, and take action to achieve those dreams. That's where that these are the systems that I can recommend to you guys. And there are hundreds of systems. I'm 100% sure there are a lot of people who would see it, but I am thinking of my mom, my sisters, who, if we're doing business, what could help them. So yeah, that's what was running in my head.
Thank you for sharing this. And I'm keeping the note of at least first three: time tracker, the scheduler, and
Mm.
this, saying no. These three things,
Yeah,
like for me, I personally think
ab-
I will utilize.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Now here, a simple thing which I want to understand is like there is a difference which I have seen. People are very comfortable when they are meeting offline and they are sharing about their business. But
Mm,
the moment they go online, they try to hide their face. They don't want to show up, create an Instagram profile, thinking that I will put more content. Whoever will need, they will come. And
mm,
it's like one of like our community member, she's actually posting since last 4 years consistently on profile, and now that she realized that whatever business she was getting is from the offline meetups. So now it's like, I have seen a gap when she is offline, she's meeting everyone as a business owner. There is a aura in her which I can see, but whatever she's doing online, she's nowhere. So why it happens, according to, like, you can share your own perspective, and if you are working with those kind of a founder whom you help to show up online, you can just share your perspective about that also.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think there are multiple things that contribute to this, Neha. Number one is what do they think about when they are visible online versus when they are visible offline? Because when you're in front of a person, you can speak, you can observe expression, you can read the person, and that makes a lot of people comfortable about it. But that doesn't mean that you can't do anything online. If you look at from a business perspective, here's the question that I would ask to that lady: how many people can you meet in a day with without going out to run your business? If let's say you had a bad day, can you do that? And I'm sure her answer would be nothing. While you can ask her, hey, what if you had to schedule online meetings and you were okay but not feeling great? Can you still meet people online? Is it possible? And that's where her perspective would change, because at the end of the day, it's our thoughts, right? So her perception is built as if she is very confident, strong, and powerful when she's offline. But on the online, she thinks as if, no, no, I don't know how I come across. I don't know what other person thinks. I can't judge the other person, and I am not able to structure my conversation well. Here, there are three things. One, you need to learn to be in an environment where you learn to show up. Second is you need to develop the behavior, right? Because it's a new behavior now. She has
Hmm.
never shown up online. She has to develop that behavior. And the third is at times you need the skills to be able to pull off a conversation where you're having conversation, you are ensuring that the other person is hearing to you. There are some visual cues, there are some body language cues that you are giving to the other person you when you're listening from them. So there is a lot of things here. So if you're working with that person, ask questions and work here. The second thing that's there is, does this person really want to scale this?
Hmm.
Does she want this to continue this further? So that's where you need to ask that if you don't put up your face forward, what will happen is people will only remember you when you are present.
Hmm.
But tell me a cheaper, faster way to show up in front of 100 people than being online. Right? Tell me a cheaper, faster way to have a library of your own conversations, which a person can see at night 2 a.m. What if you could become that for people? And what if your online presence could actually sell when even when you're not selling? That's what online does. And think of scaling as well. If you want to scale it to the triple results, the only way to do that is online as of now. So these are the questions that I would ask, and this is how you should also think as a business owner, because you should try to see how do I reduce efforts and increase returns, whether it be marketing, client acquisition, sales, operations as well. You know, to think, how can I put less efforts but give maximum value to the other person, but still be able to achieve the results? So that is how I would look at it now.
Amazing. In I could see a clear picture of, the way you give the kind of a visualization that this is the thing should be doing, and this is the thing you should be, approaching towards. So I can actually see that, this might be the problem why she's not showing up online. And I personally believe it's the mindset which actually help people.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because with what you're saying, she's a master communicator, but it's just that she feels awkward on the camera. So yeah, we all have been there, right? Before COVID, I'm 100% sure all of us have learned ourselves to be comfortable, to be okay with not being able to see everything, understand everything what the other person thinks. But that's okay. That's how the world is transforming. So we need to keep moving ahead with it.
Great. Thank you for sharing this. And I would like to know some of the skills for founders you can recommend that they should be working on so that they can transform themselves as well. while they are building the
Mm,
business. And it can be related to personal transformation or business growth, whatever you
mm,
feel like that, they should be acquiring. Because many times I
mm.
have seen that when people are working towards their business growth, they are doing the marketing and sales and everything, but one thing they are not doing is the work on themselves. Right. So
Yeah,
mindset is something which you have already shared. But
yeah.
they will create their, this is something which I call learning bucket and earning bucket, what they should be learning, and what should they should be put it in their learning bucket according to you.
So I think for most business owner, I'm assuming that these are business owners who are starters who are building their first
Yes,
initial
totally
teams, right?
started. Yes.
Yeah. So the number one thing that I would want people to learn is a new hobby. The simplest reason is most business owners in India do not have any hobby, or they run out of any interest beyond business. But here's what I want each one of you to remember: your brain works better when it is creative. And the only way for it to be creative is to keep changing the kind of tasks that you do. Now you will say, Abhay, I am doing marketing, sales, ऐसे नहीं भाई. These are all in business context. What you need to also learn to do is how to relax your brain, give it other ways to think, other perspectives to play with. That's the number one thing that I would recommend. In terms of skills, there are five key skills that I recommend to most business owners, and I think they are evergreen. The number one skill that I recommend is to think like a business owner. And what I mean by thinking like a business owner is to be like a leader, right? So, leadership skills is what I recommend people to learn. Second is delegation skills. You need to learn to give work to people in a way that they can understand, not how you want to give it, right? That is the second one. Third is the ability to give feedback. Feedback giving skills is very, very powerful, because if they don't know how to convey things to people, they will end up telling things to people, but people will not grow. That's where the fourth skill comes in: the ability to coach people. It's absolutely a very, very powerful skill for any business owner. And fifth skill is team building skill. How do you build teams? These are the five skills that I think is are the most powerful skill for anybody who is building teams and wanting to grow business. And there are multiple other skills, I'm 100% sure: analytical decision making skills, multiple, blah blah blah. But on the other side, अगर आप देखो, if you really want to build a business, you will build in on top of people. You'll build on top of an idea that you have created, and then there are people who are executing that idea, and then you be uh, helping them to execute it better, better, better. And these are the five skills that will help you do that.
Amazing. And all these skills I could see have their own essence and have their own
Absolutely.
outcome. And I think it's a lifelong journey. It's like there is no end to
Yeah,
learning. Once
absolutely.
somebody start, it's like, nowadays I'm seeing that, people are attending a lot of small workshop, building a little bit skills, and mostly skills are related to marketing nowadays, that online marketing, how can I work on Instagram, Facebook, and social media. But there are very few people who invest in their personal growth also, like, mindset based activities and all of this. But there are people who really invest in all of that. So, those of you who are watching us now, we have, I think, more than 6 members who are watching us online on Facebook. So please note down all the 5 pointers, because I personally believe each one has its own essence. Now, to wrap up the conversation in a way where they could see that, the identity gap, self-employed versus the business owner they want to become. Okay. And if they are starting their journey, and if I just commonly take everyone on a journey where there is a one woman or one man army, and he or she is doing everything alone. Okay. Now, if you can just, it's like give us a small kind of a roadmap. ऐसे करो आप, ऐसे आप, if
ठीक
you
है.
can say.
ठीक है. So I'll tell you, if you are one person company at this moment, or you are running an organization who has only one person, that's you as a business owner, right? So let's assume that your goal is to reach to a level where you say, Abhay, you know what? I don't want to be involved in day-to-day activities. I want to be involved in growing the business. Let's assume that's the goal that you're trying to achieve. Now, what you can do? The number one thing that you should start by doing is change the thinking that whatever you're doing is what only you can do. No, that's a big myth that most business owners have. जो भी आप कर रहे हो, वो आपका टीम मेंबर भी कर सकता है. So what you need to do is start by hiring one employee. It takes a lot of courage to do that, by the way. And do that, help them understand how you execute tasks. Now you may say, Abhay, you know what, I am a coach, I have to teach. You will have to anyways. Or you keep doing it for lifelong. You can't do it. Right? So what you need to do is start by thinking, what is the activity that I can give train somebody on and I can reduce my involvement in. So ideally, what you should try to see is in a day of 8 hours, if I'm spending or 12 hours, can I first separate मेरा time कहाँ जा रहा है? Is it going in operations? Is it going in marketing? Is it going in sales? And then identify what are the activities that only you can do versus what are the activities that only you think you can do. तो जब आप ये करोगे तो क्या होगा, आपको पता चलेगा अच्छा थोड़ी चीजें जो मैं कर सकती हूँ, थोड़ी चीजें मैं जो सिखा सकती हूँ और दूसरे लोग कर सकते हैं. राइट, वंस यू आइडेंटिफाई दोज एक्टिविटीज, सी हाउ मच ऑफ अ वर्क इज इट इफ यू हैव टू हायर अ पर्सन. राइट, इफ यू हैव टू हायर अ पर्सन, लेट्स से उसके लिए 6 घंटे का काम है, प्लीज हायर अ पर्सन, invest that money, gather that courage to invest that money, but track the performance so that you know if it is happening up to the mark or not. Right, once you start doing this, you will realize that okay, Abhay, I have some time available now. Now you need to say, how can I get more clients? Right, ensure that you start making enough money that you're not worried about paying the salary of the other person, and you take care of some bit of operations, which is day to day operations. Then you will realize there is more work in operations. Then you will have to hire more people. First, you will try to see if the max potential of this person is achieved. Then you will hire another person. But you will also have to keep documenting processes, keep training these people because these people are still new and they are getting nurtured. So you need to invest those 5 skills that I said in nurturing these people while you market and sell continuously to get more clients. And if you continue to do this for next 12 months, you will end up building a team where you will have 3 to 4 people in operations, and you're making sure that you are the ones who is leading marketing and sales. तो बैक एंड आपकी टीम संभाल रही है, सामने से आप क्लाइंट्स लेके आ रहे हो. दैट्स हाउ you'll be able to build a business where you are able to get free from operations, have your marketing and sales in your hand, and make some money while you are taking care of your team as well. So yeah, this is the path that I recommend to people, because in the start, until you are growing to a team size of 10 people, you will be engaged in activities, and that's absolutely okay. People are engaged even after 100 employees. But this is the fastest way for you to think and function. By the way, there is a lot of possibility that you will take decisions on your own. You are absolutely welcome to do that, because most times there's no right and wrong in business. What's important is you identify, is it going to serve me in growing my business, or is it not going to serve me? Is it going to stop me from achieving my goals? So what you evaluate is, acha, if something is helping me achieve my goals, how much risk can I take, and can I take a shot to move forward and improve? And then you take a one step forward, one step forward, one step forward. At times you may have to take a step backward, and that's okay. That's the beauty about business, because business is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to run for long. You have to look things for long, and you need to keep learning for long to be able to build a business. So yeah, this is the pathway that I recommend, Neha. I'm sure there are multiple other ways to think. This is all I had in my mind, thinking that somebody who is trying to build from scratch, how can they go to 10 employees, get free, have money, and take care of their team?
Beautiful. I feel like this is the best, I would say, powerful start can be for somebody who is actually struggling to manage time, work, family, and everything. Have the work which is not required to do by own self and just delegate
Absolutely.
so that that person
Absolutely.
can buy the time, right? Like,
Absolutely.
yeah, and one of the person say that person love to know the having a hobby, which you just
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. So we have lot to cover, I would say, but keeping the time in mind, and we will hear the last message from Abhay. And thank you all who joined. And I could see people who joined stayed till the end. This happened first time in my podcast, I would say. So thank you so much for being so engaging, everyone. And do share your takeaways from today's podcast. I know you will be making the notes in case you share, today or tomorrow. We would be happy to, hear some of your powerful takeaways. And with that note, thank you so much, Abhay, for coming for this Unmute podcast. If you can share a last message, which can be a reminder for every business owner here, and they can just, keep it as an affirmation, I would say, in their mind and continue their journey.
Absolutely. I think I say this to every business owner: be proud of yourself. Whatever you're doing is not easy. It is gonna break you, build you, develop you, and then again get you to a zero level. But the best part about this journey is people who are entrepreneurs are the people who are willing to be the best version of themselves. And that's what matters the most. I was reading a book called as The Four Agreements. And there are four agreements is the takeaway that I want each one of you to take away for you. Now, what are the four agreements? Is number one, always be impeccable with your words, which means whatever you talk to yourself is what matters the most. Doesn't matter how what your situation currently is, what you talk to yourself, what you say to yourself when things are not going right is what matters most. Second, never take anything personally. We are all playing different roles in life. At times you will be great as a mother, at times you will fail as a mother, at times you will be great as a business owner, at times you will fail as a business owner. But don't take it personally. Be happy about it, that you are improving. Third, never assume anything. At times we assume our own problems, and we don't pay attention to it. At times just stay with yourself, ask questions to yourself: how do you feel, how do you be with it, and how can you improve? And the fourth agreement, that's is always do your best. We don't have any comparison scale. The only comparison scale you have is with yourself. So please be proud of yourself, guys. And I am proud of all of you building and taking care of yourself and building a business. So yeah, this is all I had for you, Neha. Thank you.
Thank you. It's like I just stuck that second point which you just shared, and I felt like that's something which every woman has to understand. Don't take things personally.
Yeah,
Thank you so
absolutely.
much. It was a powerful podcast. I really, really enjoyed. And thank you so much, everyone who has stayed with us. We'll, come back for another empowering episode. And with that note, again, thanking you, Abhay, for coming to
Thank
this
you so much.
podcast. And
Thank you
take
for
care,
having me.
everyone. See you all next time. Do share your takeaways. We would love to hear. And also, I will be sharing Abhay's Instagram link here in the description. Please follow him. He share amazing, wisdom nuggets there. So you will learn a lot of things from him. Yep.
Thank you so
Thank you
much,
so
Neha.
much.
Take
Take
care. Bye
care.
bye.
Bye bye.